Coach Nieto did 2 unforced errors, like 3 unforced errors in the whole match.
Unbelievable.
And the other beast was like standing like this. I swear, I remember he was like standing like this. Whatever comes closer to this, he's gonna take like one long step and boom, he's gonna kill the ball.
Chingotto, Dineno, Bergamini, all of these types of players I feel like he thrived with. And Paquito, like, he doesn't like to be rushed. When he played with LeBron, although he was a former world #1 player with LeBron, and he had great success there.
We saw in Riyadh where Cristiano Ronaldo was there and he even streamed the final. And I guess more people being close to the sport. You have Mr. Beast was there in the major. Biggest YouTuber in the history of
That's
mankind.
awesome. I can't wait till he drops something about
Imagine if he dropped
paddle.
something about paddle. It would go crazy.
It's gonna explode.
Either this side wins the volley to volley or the other, or you finish a smash or you recover a smash. That was the point, nothing else. So.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Paddle Pulse podcast, powered by TSH Padel. I'm Yusuf.
Hi guys, I'm Ismail.
Hey guys, I'm Haroon.
Guys, we have a very special episode today, and because it was the first major of the season, so we thought we need more insights. We need someone who has a background to give us all the juice that we can't get to, because at the end of the day, we're fans. So I am proud to introduce to you guys the special guest for this episode. This is a man, we live in Egypt. This is a man who brought paddle to what it is today in the country, played it for over 10 years, built one of the biggest clubs, some of the biggest clubs in Egypt. Not only that, he was a national team player for Egypt, played 3 World Cups, played, by the way, in the Qatar major, which is an interesting thing, and we're going to get his insights. And also coaching the juniors in Egypt. We're going to get into all of that at the end of the episode. But my friends, I would like to introduce to you, not only is he all this, he's also one of my oldest and closest friends. Please welcome to the podcast, Seif Abou Senna.
Oh,
Welcome, Seif. Welcome, Seif.
mi amigo.
Thank you, guys.
Special guest.
Actually, I'm very excited, guys. Thank you, Yusuf, for the introduction. As you said, we go way back.
Way back.
We've like been playing tennis for like 15 years now, but now it's time for a new sport, which is paddle. That actually I've been playing paddle now for almost 10 years with all the experiences that I had. I was lucky enough to have. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm very proud of you guys actually for doing the Paddle Pulse. You're giving all the insights that the fans need to hear to, and yeah, I'm excited, and let's go for it.
Awesome. Let's do this.
So excited to have you. It's gonna be fun. So much to learn also from you today.
Yeah. We're going to give you guys the fans' perspective and probably what you guys are thinking and saying. But it's nice to have someone who has the IQ to give us the deeper insights. And we were talking before the episode. He has so much to offer, and we hope you guys enjoy. Start off. Qatar Major's over. We'd have to start off with the champions of the week. Who other than the kings of paddle, Coello and Tapia. Seif, I just want to hear first off your thoughts on these 2 incredible players.
Well, first of all, what we were saying, we've been seeing the paddle game change so bad. Like, I'm not going to say bad, but like changing very differently tactically. And I think those guys were one of the reasons, Thank God, like, Tapia is back. So from the injury, he has been having a lot of problems with his hand. I think he had a bad injury. And he talked about this, how Coello, he was like by his side and he supported him. And of course, going back to Argentina to heal there and to have his family. But of course, having him back is amazing. Like, as we said, he's the Messi of the sport. You know? So he's very talented. And as you said, the kings. So there's only one king. Arturo he's a beast, man. He's impossible. I like to call him like the octopus. Like, he has like really long arms and like he's very tall. He can hit the ball from anywhere, like with the smashes, with the volleys. They are lethal. So yeah, having them back is really good. And even Galan at the end of in the speech while receiving the trophies in the ceremony, he said we're happy that the #1 are back, and that means that we need to train more and have a better fights.
You talked about Coello, and do you think he's underappreciated by the paddle world in general? Or is he given the right amount of credit? Because it's always talk about Tapia, Tapia, Tapia. Is Coello given the appreciation he deserves?
Yeah, like you said, the fans appreciate more the talent. You know, like the more you have talented players, the more the fans they relate to them, and they really like the show that they do. But actually, I think Coello can get more praised, you know. But the level that he did, like for example, I don't know you remember the final that he played in the World Cup, playing next to Coello Nieto, and we were talking about also Coello Nieto as a player. It's this level that he played. He was like dominating the court, and he was dominating the court in a World Cup final against Tupa and Dineno, you know. So, you know, this guy, and I was lucky enough to talk with players who used to train with Coello or even still play with Coello at Gustavo Prato Academy. The type of training that he does, you know, like in coaches, they try to do a lot of game situations, a lot of limitation. They try to tell you, okay, now you're going to defend, but you don't have a lob, you don't have a Chiquita, you don't have this and that. So all this limitation, it improves the player to whatever the situation he's in, he is going to be able to play, you know. So actually, I hear that he has like all the limitations, you know, and still he keeps on training until he wins. So I think this was actually a very good thing from Gustavo, and we need to, inshallah, in the podcast, we will mention how the coaches improve the players. I know that the players, they are the ones who get the highlights, and they're the ones who get everything, but the coaches are doing an amazing job. A lot of coaches, actually.
Is that because you want some more praise?
I want to hear your thoughts on these guys.
Yeah, I feel like when the players they win a match and all that, like the coach afterwards he comes and hug them and that's it, you know, like I think now the coaches even are getting also financially better deals with the players, because back then the coaches used to sacrifice a lot to be able to at least get into the picture, but now I think having a coach is very, very important to the player now.
It's interesting because you're also a player and a coach now, so it's very interesting, the dynamic. I love player coaches, so it's nice that it's not just like you're only speaking of a coach perspective. But yeah, I agree with you fully. I agree with you fully.
Very nice.
Yeah, well, guys, for me, this was the welcome back Tapia tournament. Like it was. I thought Chingalan had them right where they wanted them.
We picked
them. If there was a chance where Chingalan could take down Tapia and Coello, it was here. Tapia coming off the injury, Chingalan on absolute fire, Galan playing like the best player in the world. I thought this is a perfect chance for them to do it. But man, oh man, oh man, oh man. When Tapia is at his best, I really don't think anyone is comparable to him as a player. Like they were at times in this tournament, and they had an absolutely brutal route to the title. It was not an easy route because they had to go through Elsberger and Cardona, then Yanguas and Nieto, and then Chingalan, and then before that there was also some tough matches too. But they dominated.
You could say those are three of the best four teams outside of them.
In my opinion, they are right now the three of the best four teams, and they took them down pretty easily, straight sets. There were no challenges. They were unplayable at times. I mean, there were such few dips in this tournament from them in terms of level. And Tapia, there's nothing on the court that he can't do.
It's insane.
And regarding the final, you know, Chingalan, they were up a break, and I thought they have them. This is what they need. They need to take the first set. They need to have the confidence. You know, at least have Coello Tapia a little bit doubting themselves.
Let them fight back.
And they have to fight back from down. Well, they got them back 4-1 up, right back 4-all into the tiebreak. In the tiebreak, Tapia and Coello are just, you know, I feel like they're so tough mentally now. It's really hard to put such big obstacles in their way. I mean, and to beat them, like you really, Chingalan, they can't afford to have any dips. Like if you go rewatch that tiebreak, either Coello and Tapia are winning the points, and what was the difference is that Galan and Chingato a couple errors. Like it was, Galan had a volley error at 1-love up. Chingato had a couple lob errors when they were down 6-4 or 5-4. It's over. That's it. You can't afford to have those mental lapses. Just you need to play perfect to beat them. Coello Tapia, they can afford to dip. Like they can afford to dip. Chingalan also second set. All right, back into it. They had the break point in the first game. All right, they didn't capitalize and it's over. It was just like a train right to the end. And Coello Tapia, they're unbelievable. They were unplayable. They were unplayable all through. I mean, in my opinion, actually, I think that Yanguas and Nieto actually played them better this tournament and we can get to that in a second, but just this is the welcome back Tapia. Tapia, when he's back and he's fully healthy, they're untouchable. They're almost unplayable. Even for Galan, which is for me by far the second best team in the world, they couldn't touch them.
By far?
Almost.
Respect.
In the past couple of tournaments,
Respect.
almost by...
Oh, no.
In terms of results and level, I thought they were the best in foreign team, and they couldn't really touch them, I thought. And I don't know. Those are my immediate thoughts. I can get to more of that.
Well,
But,
Harun, let me just get to you because Smail's talking as if he's the one who chose them and picked them to win this tournament.
I didn't. No,
the
I
one
didn't.
who picked them to win this tournament was you.
I didn't pick
And
them.
but also, Seif, we have to give him credit. He did pick them to win the final.
Well done picks, guys. Those are good
Let's
picks.
go.
So that's a point here. And Harun, you picked them, so that's a point for you. But you picked them also from the beginning of the tournament, so I guess that's double for you.
Vamos.
Let's hear your thoughts, man, on these two guys.
Vamos. I even said that I said that they win in straights. Coello and Tapia, it's like you asked, is it possible to beat Coello and Tapia like twice in a row, back to back? Like when Ausberger and Cardona, it's so hard, man. Like these guys, they can dip sometimes, and especially like with the injury. Like when one of them has an injury, okay, now that's a normal team that you could then look for their weakness and fight whatever. But being down 4-1, being down 3-love, it's nothing. It means absolutely zilch. It means nothing, and they're just beasts. Like Tapia now, when his hand is fully healed now, it just feels like he always has something in his backpack to just take out. Okay, now I want to end the point. Okay, let's end the point now. Like it's almost unfair. And if Galan is not Galantico, where he's balling out of his mind and hitting insane smashes and all his trick shots and behind the back and that thing and all of these stuff, he shanked a few of these smashes, which was quite funny because we always make fun of me for me being the shanker of the smashes. But
You're the Shank King.
Shank City. But yeah, they're ballers. I can't take anybody else other than them in some like in these important moments and in these important tournaments because they're just too good. I would have taken Stupa and LeBron because they're my team maybe, but yeah, Coello and Tapia. Sorry, I love Galan, but they're just so superior. They're just so superior, especially with Tapia in the smash. Yeah. And I told you Coello was gonna dominate, and he did dominate. I told you he's gonna become super aggressive, and he did. And I feel like
in that semi-final match, in that semi-final match, by the way, they were up 5-2, and it was a double breakup. It's supposed to be over, and then they dipped. It was a big dip, and then they came back 5-all. Coello took over that match. Coello took over that match at 5-all, and he took the charge, and he turned into the king, that alpha that we saw in the World Cup that you talked about, Seif. So that was I think that was a big moment because they did play them better, huh? So that was a big moment. But
baller stuff.
Something that needs that like I would never pick against these guys. The only reason I picked against them is because of the hand injury.
Yeah.
And when the hand injury is not there, I look like a clown. Anyone who picks against them looks like an absolute clown. Galan, I'm like, it was all emotions, but it was mainly because of the injury. Like, you can't pick against them. And they just showed. And I watched this match yesterday. Galan was really, really good in the first set. It's just he has to put in 110% to be able to compete with the firepower on the other side. And Chungoto does not provide any firepower. I feel like the man, at some point, you can look at Galan, it's pure desperation in his eyes. There's nothing more he can do. He looks up to the sky. There's nothing I can do. I can't do everything. You have this guy next to me who's giving, I love Chungoto, but at the end of the day, lobs and chiquitas and volleys can only take you so far.
Well,
against these guys. He
has to carry, I don't know, Seif, how you think, but like he has to carry so much of the offensive load against two players who can absolutely do anything anywhere on the court at any time.
I've been listening to you guys, of course, and I really, really want to say something that is very important.
Please.
It's all about the gameplay itself. Like, the gameplay of Galan and Shingoto is really, really different than the gameplay of Coello and Tapia.
Yes.
Coello and Tapia, their priority is to move to the net no matter how. Yeah. I don't care how I'm going to move to the net. Either I'm going to play a fast salida de pared off the wall, or I'm going to play a lob, and then either if the lob is bad or good, I'm moving in, you know? Yeah. And this is what Coello and Tapia wants. Yeah. They want to be on the net no matter how, and they are more than ready to go for a volley-to-volley battle. But actually, the other side is different. Shingoto and Galan, they are more on the slower way. We want to, of course, be on the net and then we will make you guys move a little bit. We will try to open spaces. And when we open those spaces, either you are going to do an unforced error or you're going to give me an easy ball that I'm going to go for it as a winner. But actually, the point how, and this what brings us to when you were talking about the quarterfinal with Augsburger and Cardona, and I think that why sometimes Coello and Tapia face a problem with Augsburger and Cardona, because they're actually playing with the same way those are playing. They are going head to head, challenge to challenge. I'll play a Chiquita and then I'm going to move in and then we're going to go for a volley to volley, which means that the ball is going to finish in like 3 to 4 hits, you know. But actually, this is not what Galan and Chingoto are doing. But actually, Galan was trying to do this by himself. He was always trying to push 1 step or 2 steps after the line. And that's why, as we saw in the match, he got like hit body shots, like 6 to 8 body shots, you know, and we saw how he was fed up. Which brings us to the point of Chingoto. Chingoto, actually, I think this guy is doing his best, by the way. He's like, this guy is doing his best. He cannot do better than that.
Yeah.
And this is, and I was listening to a lot of commentators on the match, and they were saying like, how did Chingoto miss like 2 easy lobs or miss like one of the returns? And this is the pressure that Coello and Tapia are doing. You don't want to give them an easy volley because you know if you give them an easy volley and even if he misses this first volley, afterwards he's gonna hit you with another 3. And if you play, I'm not gonna say a short lob, but if you play like a decent lob, after like if you remember after reaching 5-4 to Chingoto and Galan with new balls, it was the end. The moment they reached 5-4 with new balls and the wind speed was less because we were moving more into the evening and into the night, so the smashes were easier. So it was impossible to recover those smashes. So I want you to feel, to put yourself in the Chingoto's shoes and imagine that you need to play the most perfect lob and the most perfect Chiquita. To be able to get to be next to Galan. That's the only, and then we need to play like good the Viboras that he played, by the way, to the corner with Coello that was really good. And by the way, he was playing excellent bandejas straight to Tapia. But of course, they were pretty easy to Tapia. But if you imagine those straight bandejas that were moving in the corner and Tapia was playing them like it was very easy. So imagine the effort that he needs to make to be able to just to be next to Galan. And Galan was trying to, because he doesn't have another solution. Imagine if Galan was in the back and both of them are trying to do this, I think it would have happened like 6-1, 6-1, like when we saw, or like, it would have been crazy.
No, I think that's a very good point because it's hard to critique Chingoto. He's playing really well. He's playing really solid.
It's not a critique of his level. It's just like he doesn't compliment Galan enough to beat Tapia Coello. So what you're saying is, just to conclude, there is no way to beat these two guys. These like this play style and this play style. Do they have any chance?
They had chances. They won 5 times before.
And it was in the beginning of the partnership.
And in this match they had like a 4-1 and they had a lot of break points. The problem, like Ismail said, sometimes Coello and Tapia they dip, but you find like Tapia doing a crazy smash behind the line or Coello moving. Did you see how Coello closes the angles? Like the moment Coello plays like a really high backhand volley into the middle and then he moves, like he stretches both his arms, you know, you feel like he's going to play the ball, whatever. If you're going to play here, there, you have no other option to play and he kills the ball. So I think, I don't know if this is the time to mention this, but if Galan might want to change the Chingoto.
Don't spoil. Don't talk about that.
We have a special segment for that, so you guys stay tuned. Seif has more to talk about, but not now.
You guys keep on wanting to jump ship super quickly. They had success before.
Why not? Tell me, like you just heard what he said.
Okay, fine. There are like he is talking about very details in the strategy and in the way they play, but then he's also saying that these guys are just too good. And to you think success needs to be where both players have to be super strong and super talented and do both being exact copies of each other. I feel like they complement each other very well. I feel like that style of play can be successful. Galan just needs to be better. Chigoto's fine.
Oh, okay. So you want him to be like he's already superhuman. You want him to be superhuman.
No, he's not. But the thing
Makes
is,
sense.
Galan is not always superhuman. He's not always superhuman. He's sometimes superhuman and sometimes okay. Okay, as in like.
Tell me any player in any sport who is superhuman from the first point to the last point. There eventually dips, right? He can go down. He's not allowed to go down. He's not.
All he has to do is just enjoy his time
allowed.
and just play loose, and he'll win.
That's awesome. Why don't you take what's his name, Gustavo Prato's spot on Coello Tapia's team?
Last year, those
whose
5 wins came with just being super relaxed, man. Just go out and have fun and kiss and hug each other after every single point and have fun and do all the trick shots. Key to success. so
that's the key. Is that going to be when you interview for the head of M3 Academy? You can tell them these words. They're going to definitely take you in. But let's just we need to highlight something about these guys now. Coello 7 majors, Tapia 6, and they're by far ahead of everyone else. The next is Galan at 3. How many more can these guys win before it's all said and done? Are we looking at 30?
A lot.
Are we looking at 30?
We're looking at a lot.
How many more years do these guys have of domination?
That's the problem. They're young, man, already. Like, we're talking about young. We're not talking about guys who are like in the end of their careers, you know. So having them young and also hungry. They're not only young. They're not like, okay, we've dominated a little bit for a year or two, so we can. No, they're still very hungry, and they still want to win, and they still want to crash all the titles and all the numbers. So and I like the combination also of having Gustavo. They talk about Gustavo Prato with his methodology. You know, he has a certain methodology, and I think this was, as you said, the time that took Coello and Tapia. Like, they lost for like 5 times against Shingoto and Galan, and they took time until they implement the full methodology of Gustavo, and they're confident. You know, that's what Ismail was saying. They're very confident. I'm like, we'd love 40 down. I'm confident I'm going for it. I will win this game. And you can see this. But can you see this in the body language of Shingoto and Galan? I feel like, I don't want to say it's a fake, but I feel like Shingoto and Galan like encouraging each other and say, vamos, vale, we're going for it and we can win 15-40. But no, you're going to lose two returns. So, you know, like, but actually on the other side, like, and you saw how Tapia was screaming yesterday after winning because they were under immense pressure and coming back from the injury. So
many obstacles they had to overcome to come back, especially guys who were on the top, and it was you can see the emotions. Tapia stayed underneath his towel for like 5 minutes, probably crying. And you saw Coello with him, and he went to him, and he was smacking his knees, and like it's. The hunger is very inspirational to see.
True.
It's very inspirational.
I love the point you just mentioned, Seif, about the confidence, and because they have such good team chemistry also. They really build each other so well.
Remember after the Santiago loss? How they embraced each other, even though it was a really bad loss, the way they embraced after the match.
They really
do not see that with everyone.
Unshakable team spirit, and they're really good partners, and it's a testament to them. For Tapia and Coello, so much mentally ahead. You feel they haven't approached their physical prime, like you said. They're still so young. Are they gonna crush the Bella 15 years? Like you never know how far this can go.
You know, something.
Last thing before we move on. Go ahead, Arun.
Wait, I want to hear from Harun now.
Something I want to say is like what's so funny to me. Really, it's absolutely hilarious. Is that every time they win a tournament, it's like their first tournament. Oh my God, they're dropping out and crying. Like oh my God, they never knew they were gonna win this tournament. they don't know that. Oh wow, this was a very doable draw for them. Like really, they drop on their knees and cry and hug each other. But then that just shows
but
how scary that is, because if you're seeing that on the other side, that oh wow, they're genuinely super happy and almost crying and celebrating, and then yeah, they're always gonna want to have that feeling, and winning cures all. Even if sometimes they have some tension or whatever, then winning is gonna cure it all the time.
Yeah, I think the reaction that you were talking about shows more like, yeah, of course, from the fan side, like, guys, come on, you've been winning it for like 10 tournaments in a row, so why are you that happy, or why are you that relieved? I think, speaking about being relieved, is like the immense tactical pressure that you have. Sometimes the match, I think a lot of matches are more like tiring for the mind and for the brain than it's tiring for the body itself, you know? Like they don't cramp, they don't dehydrate, they don't do this. Yeah, some matches, yeah, for sure, they're like marathons, but they are very, very, very tactical, that they need not to lose, as Ismail was saying, that Galan cannot drop one single point. Yeah, so this is how it is. Like it's mentally challenging, because they are always thinking about how they need to implement all the tactics and all the break points they need to face, and this pressure and the expectations that the fans they have from them. So that's why I think after winning, they're like too much relieved, you know. And from the coaching perspective, like sometimes we give orders to the players to start encouraging yourself, start screaming, come on, yes, just to be relieved, just because you have the pressure inside you, so you need to get it out one way or another. So sometimes the fans, they get like, he just hit like a first volley and he won it. Like, why did he scream that much? Because he is trying to get all the pressure out of him and get relieved, so he can relax a little bit and start dominating, you know?
That's 100% true. There's so much tension.
Yeah.
You feel there is so much tension. That's a very nice breakdown of that entire issue. Last thing before we move on, I do want to talk about, and because this blew my mind yesterday when I saw it, and Tapia sometimes doesn't get credit for how much of an amazing athlete he is. And I think he showed it specific. Obviously, there's the talent, but with the athleticism, that point at 30 all, 5-2 up, full sprint. He ran full sprint and put the Dormelina, just like you can see the touch, if you slow it down, the way he was able to touch it. Were you guys as amazed as I was with that shot, or was that, or am I the only one who's?
It was unbelievable, because I think for every single human on the planet, that point was over. Galan is smashing the ball, and the court is wide open. Tapia's on the other side.
He's not even in screen.
There's no way he's gonna catch that. There's no way he should even try for it.
Yeah.
And also they're up double break. Like, it's over. Like, it's secure. But that's the type of fighting mentality they have. Like, it's incredible. It's incredible.
I don't want to say, I don't know how to say it actually, but do you still get amazed from Tapia? Yeah, of course he does a lot of things, but I feel like we expect those kind of things. Like, if you, like you said, you did a kind of like a rewind and you saw it in slow motion.
Yeah.
I need you to watch from the moment he started running, if he was changing the racket or not. If he was doing a preparation. He was not only thinking about he needs to run to the ball and just touch it. No, he was doing a preparation, knowing that he, one way or another, he will reach this point there, and then he will need to do something about it. So I think he was already preparing to do this. You know, like three seconds ago, or like 2 seconds ago, he was like already.
He knew he's gonna hit that Dormilona from the second.
I'm going for it. And having the crowd also, like you saw, the crowd was. I'm not saying they were not supporting Galan or Shingoto, but the crowd was like. When Tapia does something, the crowd goes crazy. And when you get the energy from this crowd and playing at that facility and at that court, like in Khalifa Stadium, I've played there. I've coached there, because like we played against Portugal in the World Cup there for the women's team. It is something else, guys. And actually, talking about the stadium itself, or this center court, I think it's a problem for Galan. I think Galan never I don't know. I don't remember.
Nightmares?
I don't remember him winning a lot. Like even in the World Cup last year, he lost against who he was playing against, who Coello and Koki. No, he was playing against Tapia and Shingoto when he was playing with LeBron.
Yes,
and he lost against and he lost this match like a final set. So I think him not winning in that stadium is also maybe
Such a nice point.
yeah, maybe
Such
might
a
be
nice
And
not-
point.
also,
Yeah,
and
it's
also,
not
Seif,
easy for him
in the previous World Cup, I think when they played also in Qatar, he played with Coello and he also lost as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we can talk about Coello and Tapia all night long, but we need to talk about another amazing couple. And I would say, are they even more impressive this year in 2025? And that's Brea and Triay winning yet another tournament that's back-to-back-to-back titles. Might be even 4 in a row if it wasn't what happened in Santiago. Seif, talk to me about these amazing 2 women.
Well, let's start first about Gemma Triay or Gemma Triay. She was world number 1 before, so that's why I want to add that she was the most experienced player on court. You know, her attacking game is amazing. Like the moment she dominates on the net, no one can defend her shots. Like the way she plays, like especially when she serves to the backhand side of the player, and then she moves and plays her high volley to the middle, she kills the ball. She's one of the best players who plays a 3-meter smash. So like por tres is amazing, and that makes also a problem. And she has kind of like also when she makes like silly easy mistakes, it's easy for her to recover. You know, like sometimes you can see Gemma Triay moving and then she hits like a fast volley just like into the glass, and then afterwards no, she's composed. She knows what she's doing. She's and actually, Jorge Martinez is doing an amazing job with her also, how to handle her after Rodri Ovede and all this thing with the coaches. So I think she's amazing. And I think Delphi choosing, I know this because I know a lot of players, a lot of fans like Bia Gonzalez, but Delphi's decision to move to play with Gemma Triay is a really good thing.
Clearly.
yeah, but I mean like, because Delphi, she's young, so she needs this experience. She needs this winning mentality, this world number 1 mentality, all that. And they are a very, very balanced team. Of course, talking about Delphi Brea, she's young and she's the daughter of Nieto Brea, you know, like one of the best coaches like in Argentina, the oldest coaches who like wrote books about padel, you know. So she kind of like, she was raised in a padel family. And this is also what I like about Delphi, that she's her game is different. Like she plays really unexpected game, you know, like a lot of variation in the shots. Like she's one of the best players who plays like I don't know, you saw the bajada with the backhand, and she used to play them to the straight. Sometimes plays them to the middle, and sometimes she plays it cross. And also one of the players who plays really, really good dejada, like the stop volley that she plays. So I think it's a very, very good balance. I really like the body language. Her spirit on court is amazing. And both of them coming back from 4-1 in each set also it shows that, like, I watched the press conference that they do before the finals for all the players, for the 8 players. And I think all of them mentioned something that is very important, that it's all about the small details. Like, and also, like, I was listening to Mohamed Saadoun. He was commenting on that in the Arabic version of the match, and he was saying, like, one break is not enough. If you are, whether you're playing against Coello Tapia, Galan, or you're playing against Gemma Triay or Delphi or Ariana Sanchez, and of course Paula Jose Maria, who is also very impressive, but one break is not enough. And a lot of fans and a lot of players who are not that experienced, that 4-1 is one break.
It's very deceiving.
Yeah, it's very deceiving. Like 4-1 and 5-2 is, at a certain point, it is deceiving. So actually, this is what they did. They believed in themselves, and you saw like how they even, like, in the second set they did a break back, and then they got a break back, and there's always chances. So of course I need to praise them. Like Gemma Triay and Delphi, they did an amazing job, and you said, like, winning almost four in a row. Like what happened in Santiago, I would count it, you know, like, I would count it.
They were close.
So it's amazing team, and it's very tough to win against them, but we will see.
Well, Smail, you also had them winning this tournament. Also, Seif, we give you credit because in the predictions you picked them to win the final. Smail, you picked them winning the final, and you picked them winning the tournament. Your thoughts on these women?
Yeah, not much to add to what Seif was already talking about, and I think Seif did a really nice job breaking it down there. But
Yeah.
just I'll say what I see is that I really like the teamwork and the body language I see from them together on court. And like you said, when they were down, unfazed, you feel they're so confident. They don't really think they're gonna lose. They know they're gonna win. You know, they can feel it in their body and how they talk and how they play. I feel like they know.
Sorry to interrupt you, but exactly that's what you're saying. Like I felt like Gemma Try was like a big sister for Delphi. You know, like
Yeah.
when Delphi, because Delphi, as we said, she was playing like all the variation and different shots. So sometimes you can see her try to play a stop volley that doesn't even reach to the net
Yeah.
at some time a risky point. You know,
Yeah.
a risky time. The way Gemma Try was positive about this, and the way she went to her and told her, it's fine, let's push for it. I like that you took a risk, let's go.
Yeah.
It complements what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for pointing that out,
Yeah.
Seif. And I mean, other than that, they're super impressive. What I was surprised about this tournament actually for them is that their hiccups or the teams that gave them the tough matches were not the teams that you would expect to give them tough matches, because they took out Ari and Paula 6-4, 6-4 after being down, as you said. But you know, they had to go final set, right? In
Mercedes and Salazar.
yeah, with Mercedes and Salazar. And also before that, they had to go with Guinar España and Iglesias Segador. They also went final set. So two
They were not the more impressive team on the way to the final.
No, they were not.
It was Sanchez and Jose Maria, which is why I was so confident.
Hard luck, man.
Like I did not see that coming. I'm happy to see more competition because that's what we want to see as fans. But yeah, that was surprising. Maybe that's going to be signs for the future. But
Yeah, but can I add something about this? Like we saw that even in the matches, like in the beginning, even for the men teams, and sometimes in the beginning of the tournament, you as a team, you need to get used to the court.
Yeah.
And even especially in this major, there was a lot of wind in the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah.
So maybe like sometimes, yeah, we play and you can see all the sets that they are losing are close sets. It's like a tie break, maybe a 7-6.
Yeah.
But when you check the sets that they won, they are easy sets, like 6-love, 6-1,
Yeah.
or 1-1, or
Mercedes
something like
Salazar,
that.
6-love, 6-7, 6-1.
So this shows that they have like they I don't know, they're like reserving their energy or what, but like when they want to, like go another round, like okay, no, hold my racket, I'm going for it. So
Yeah.
it shows like how they get used to the court and they get used to the conditions of the tournament, and that's why they kind of improve by the match.
Yeah.
And what happened with Salazar and I think, I don't want to say they underestimated it, but winning the first set 6-love or 6-1, I think 6-love,
6-love.
6-love in a quarter final.
Yeah.
It was the semi or the
it was
quarter?
semi-final.
In the semi-final, winning 6-love, and so they kind of like they get
Took their foot
relaxed.
off the gas a
And
bit.
imagine you getting relaxed and only losing 7-6, and that was you being relaxed. And then no, I will focus more, and they won a 6-1. So yeah. It's also different. Yeah.
So good.
good points.
Well, Haroon, come on, give us your thoughts.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Seif, but to me, well, first of all, I think that they're very smart players. You're saying she's, like, as you said, she comes from a family of paddle, like a paddle family. So she's smart, especially everybody that grows up with having a coach. Like, they're just very intelligent people in the sport, and they have a high IQ in the sport. But also, like, Triay is a very smart player as well. So I feel like they're a very smart team. And they give me like the impression that they're a bend don't break type of team. Like they like to, they know that the match is long and they don't need to just win every single point. And they're very tactical in terms of they just play textbook paddle. I feel where they just try to take the net, and it's very hard to take away the net from them, and it's very easy for them to take the net. And if some talented players on the other side of the net pull off some crazy shots or anything, they're talented enough, to make up for it and bounce back and recover. But they're just a very textbook standard type of paddle team, and they're very smart and just they keep on. They're very consistent, and they just don't try to do crazy shots. So like you said, Triay maybe balances it out. Delphi Brea maybe sometimes like to do creative or exciting things, and Brea just keeps her humble, or not humble, grounded, just to let's focus on our objective. So that's kind of the impression I feel, and they just have a very solid tactical plan, and it's very hard to beat them when they play that way. What do you guys think?
I agree with you, of course. What you mentioned, yeah, of course, I agree with all that. But also, I praise the right-handed players who play against a lefty. You know, the best combination, and we all know that the best combination is to have a lefty on the right and a right-handed player on the left. You know, in position. So also, when you have a Shingotto or Delphi playing, it's not easy for them. Like all the lobs that we're playing to the middle, now it's either Gemma Triay that needs to travel to play them, but actually if she didn't do that, the ball when it bounces in the middle, Delphi doesn't do something that is weird, you know. She either plays a really good lob or she plays a really smart Chiquita. Or if it's a high ball, sometimes she goes with the high backhand bajada, you know? Yeah. So actually the problem that was the middle, they kind of solved it, you know? Having also Gemma Triay, I think she's not short, so she reaches to the ball easily, and she has really good bandejas and víboras. And also, if the ball bounced in the back, Delphi knows what to do with the ball, especially playing against Ariana Sanchez and Paula, you know? Yeah. So yeah, I agree with Haroon what he's saying. So it's not easy that you play against a lefty and you also dominate or you also win. It's because you're not the favorite team. Yeah. But on paper you're not, because there's a lefty and a right side. So the middle is more trouble. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So yeah.
I don't have much more to add to what you guys said, but I do want to say a few things about Delphi Brea. Yep. And I feel like she's transformed completely as a player ever since she went with Triay. Like the confidence, I don't remember that I remember when I watched her playing with Bea, like they're a team that competes and they fight, but now I feel like she's standing taller. Yeah. I feel like her she's standing next to someone who's giving her, like you said, Seif, so much confidence that she's able to play freely. Even though if you're playing with someone like Triay, who's a former world number one, who you know her goals are, I want to become world number one again. So there's so much pressure there, but I don't feel that pressure when she's playing with her. I feel like she's giving her so much confidence and so much freedom to be herself and play the way that she wants, that Brea has evolved into a player that I think she's taken it to a completely different level since she's played with Triay. And but Triay also, I'm just watching, when you watch her play, it's, to me, by the way, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but in the transition area, there's no one like her. Yeah, there is no one like her in the transition area. I'm watching her. It's as if they're playing against the wall. She blocks everything. You can hit the ball at her feet. She's going to bring it back. You can hit the ball high. She's going to bring it back. You want to go for a víbora at her body. She's going to hit it back. The lady just stands there and there's no way through her.
Her reach is amazing.
Her reach is amazing, and the block, and obviously the what's it called, the reaction time. Yeah. I watch her and I'm amazed. But because if you look at women's paddle compared to men's paddle, but there's nothing special, but it is spectacular what she does. Yeah, and
the consistency of it is amazing.
It's insane. And then she rises up to the occasion. The way the final point of the match when she hit that smash and she screamed, "Ah!" Like this is this is a woman that wants world number one, and this is a woman that I believe will reach world number one because they're closing in on them. And just last thing before we end this, let's just go through the stats that these two women have so far this season. They played 23 matches, 21 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. Are we going to call it a tie in what happened in Santiago?
I would like to add it as a win, to be honest, guys. So, added a win here and a win there.
Yeah.
You know, like, why not, you know? No
exactly. Let's say 23 matches, 22 wins, 1 loss, 20 consecutive matches won, 4 titles. These women are insane, and what they're doing right now, I think it's domination. Maybe women's paddle this season could go down as one of the greats ever. And a nice one, Triay over Sanchez. It was tied at 30 apiece. It's now 31-30 Triay, so now she has the advantage.
Iconic rivalry.
Which kind of brings us to, like you were saying, like if she's going to dominate or not, like this team is going to dominate or not. I think we need to also talk about the other champions. Like I still consider them champions even if they didn't win the major, but like what Ari Sanchez and Paula Jose Maria did
Yeah.
also in paddle is amazing.
Yeah.
Ari Sanchez is a very clever player. She's very consistent. She knows when to attack, when to play slow, when to play fast. I'm like, she's very intelligent. But I think what I saw yesterday, that I feel that Paula Jose Maria get affected a bit depending on the level of Ari Sanchez.
True.
Like if Ari Sanchez is not playing, because you saw them, like they were 4-1 up in the first set, and then they go like really silly mistakes, guys. Like with a easy first volley, or like a easy volley, or like a smash to the wall, or like it was easy mistakes. And of course, praise to Brea, Triay and Delphi that they emphasized on that. You know, like okay, you're gonna give us gifts, we are going to take them happily, and we were going to win. But actually, we saw that I talked about Brea Triay playing the Portraits 3 meter. Also, Paula, she has an amazing smash, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why they call her like dynamite. You know, she's like has really
Small but has power.
yeah, exactly. She has like really good also bajadas, like because she's not tall, so I think it's easy to get the ball above her. But now sometimes, it's preferably I play like a short lob, so she plays a bandeja, preferably than she plays a bajada, because her bajadas are very good, and she goes either cross or to the middle, and they are fast and heavy. So I think she's doing an amazing job, also Paula. But maybe yesterday, because Ari, she had a lot of unforced errors, or a lot of unexpected unforced errors, that maybe it affected.
Ari's dips, I feel like they're like she dips much more than Paula. And like you said, it affects her very much. But I feel like the dips have been happening much more, like, I guess, frequent than I expect from, because we're talking about like this 4-1 comeback in both sets. It's not against anyone. It's against could you say this is the best women's pair ever?
They're one of the best.
Like,
you know?
so those comebacks, it shouldn't happen. Should that happen against someone like Paula Jose Maria? I feel like there's something wrong with that team right now.
But actually, that's what we talked about. Like, it should happen, or it might happen, and there's a possibility that it happens, because, as we said, it's all about the small details. It's all about the small details. And if you thought about it, the small details is like an unforced error at 30 all, you know, like, so it's not a big deal. Like, if we check the number of points won here and there, you'll find like sometimes you can find Ari Sanchez and Paula Jose Maria winning more points but losing the game, you know, losing the set. So I feel that maybe it's more on the tactical, mental side. Technically, of course, I cannot talk about them because they are amazing on the technical side. So I think it's going to be more here, maybe.
It's in the head. Huh?
And also, I need to talk about Jorge Martinez, like he reaching the final every time he almost reaches the final. You know, like either with Galan or with Brea Triay and Delphi. So I think also he did an amazing job with the girls, with the women's match. He gave them a lot of insights, and like in both sets, they go to him 4-1 down. You know, and he knows what to say 2 games ahead. He tells them what to do to hold and what to do to break, you know, because he's not going to see them at 4-2, you know, so this is actually what he does. Like he tells them, okay, we're going to hold using this tactic and we are going to break using this tactic. So yalla, come on, go for it. And the way they played the game, and they isolated a little bit Paula, and they were moving to Ari because they felt that Ari is not doing her best, and that the challenge when Ari is not in her best, and the challenge between Triay and Ari in this match, Triay was going to win. So they were moving more towards her, pushing her to the corner, playing a lot of rulos there. So and actually it made her uncomfortable. And the moment Ari was uncomfortable, Paula also was uncomfortable. So I think this was also good.
Nice
Very
points.
Interesting insight. Very interesting.
Okay, guys. Well,
we can move on.
That was a long and lengthy conversation where we talked about these champions, both men and women. Lots of
worthy champions that deserve the conversation, though. And also, Seif's giving us insights. And you guys let us know how much are you loving these insights, because as in the studio, we're loving them. I hope you guys are too.
No, it's awesome. He's pointing a lot of, like, I feel a big difference from the way I look at Padel and the way he looks at Padel. Obviously, he's much more experienced, so he has a lot. The nuances, he knows all these little small details and the feeling of it also, and the environment and the atmosphere and how it feels tactically and how that tactically affects you mentally. I think I need to study more so we can have.
He'll give us a course when we're done. He'll give us a paddle course.
but yeah. But I want to move on, guys, to I want to talk about this is always an interesting segment that we have every week, which is the biggest winner of the week. This was quite nice because there were some new storylines that we have, and I want to start off with Smail. Smail, tell us, what is your biggest winner of the week? Please share with us.
Yeah, guys. Well, this is a team that we've been high on now since the start of the year because they had some nice results toward the end of last year, which are the Deutsch brothers.
Yeah.
And they had a rough path because they had to run into Tolito and Gonza really early in this tournament, who've been on fire.
The wild
They
horses.
took them down. Yeah, they're a really, really tough team to play, and they took them down, and then they ended up losing in the round of 16 to the Cardona and Augsburg, which is absolutely nightmare team, one of my favorite teams. No one's going to touch that. That's a tough team to play. But Karburger, I'm a big fan of Karburger. Seif. That's my favorite team, Karburger.
I'm not a big fan of that name, but like, okay.
It's the name we have.
Yeah.
It's the name we have.
I saw something. Oh, let me remember. I remember in the commentary they gave them a nickname. I don't remember what the name was.
Well, I mean, I just love that for the Deutsch brothers. They came off a nice FIP silver title in Dubai. Quick turnaround to the Doha tournament. Yeah. Taking out Tolito and Gonza, who've been taking out top 20 teams. I like that a lot for them. They're showing lots of promise.
In that FIP Dubai Silver Tournament, they beat Pablo Lijo and
Rubio.
Gonzalo Rubio.
Yeah, Rubio.
Which is a really good team. Yeah. And the Deutsch brothers, they're moving their way up. And again, we like to say that we love teams from countries other than Portugal.
Portugal, let's go. No, I mean, Portugal is doing an amazing job actually. Their paddle is getting like really high on a high level, and we can see that of course with Deutsch brothers, and we can see that with Sofia Araujo.
Yes.
Like she's doing an amazing job. Like we need to mention her. Like if we're talking about Portugal, this is what we need to mention. And those guys, like I watched them live in they were like the dark horse, like in the World Cup.
Yeah,
they were playing really, really good, whether they were winning or losing. But the way they fought in every single ball, they have like physically they are beasts, guys. I saw them live on court. The balls are really, really fast. The smashes are amazing. I think they will mature a little bit, because they don't have the full experience that the Spanish or the Argentinians have. But the way they play, I would have picked them also. Yeah, I have another team, but like I think picking them is great, Ismail, because they are the only players that are not Argentinians and Spanish. And I don't remember, like in this tournament they had like 54 Spanish and like 19 Argentinian, and those guys are the only Portuguese, playing. So
they're pioneers.
Yeah, very, very impressive, and shout out to them, and like hopefully they're watching the Padel Pulse, and they're like very proud.
We're seeing like more Brazilians and Portuguese, like although it's like Portuguese Padel is not.
We're seeing the same Brazilians though. We're just seeing Campagnolo and Bergamini. No one knew. It's a shame they can't play with each other because they're both on the right. Well, Lima obviously.
Yeah, but I mean like also. Bergamini and Campagnolo, they used to play together, like Campagnolo can play on the left, by the way. And in the World Cup, I saw Bergamini playing on the left.
Yeah,
which is like also something that
he did play last year, by the way, with Cardona. He played on the left, but also because Cardona.
Yeah, because Cardona is a lefty. But I mean, like, it's amazing what seeing other countries than Spain and Argentina. So it shows that those guys are either they sacrificed a lot, they moved from their origin or from their country, and they went to Spain to be able to stay and like play with all the other champions, So I need to praise, of course, the Brazilian, the Portuguese, the Chileans, the Paraguayans. A lot of them are moving now into the top 100. So and the Swedish, of course, are doing amazing job.
Yeah. It's nice to see new faces.
No, it's also nice to mention
new faces, and it's refreshing for Padel because we keep seeing the same faces.
for sure.
It's also nice to mention that the fact these guys were not playing paddle before 2019.
Wow.
The fact
is
that
very
they've been
impressive.
playing since just 2019, I think it's insanely impressive.
Yeah, this is, I don't know how they're doing this, to be honest.
It's
Like you
insane.
can see, I think, I don't know, I think they were playing tennis before. For
Yeah, they
sure.
were tennis players.
I think, look at the Miguel, I think the preparation of playing the serve, like he's like going for like like a outside serve, like, you know. So no, the preparation is more like in tennis, but and then he goes for a paddle serve. So yeah, having them starting paddle they're
So late.
Yeah, so late. So with the level that they're playing, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Okay, guys, now I want to move on to you, Seif. Who is your biggest winner of the week?
Actually, I don't want to say they are not the favorite team for the fans, though. I don't know, but I go for Yanguas and Nieto.
I love that team.
Reaching,
I love that team.
Yeah, reaching the semi-final for like the fourth time. I'm like, and they're doing a lot of good effort. And even when the matches that they lost, they were close. You know, they had amazing fights, whether they're against Galan or Coello and Tapia and all that. And I'll be a bit biased because my gameplay as a player, or maybe I play on the right, but I like Nieto, guys.
Yeah.
I like the consistency and the way he controls the ball, the way he plays. Like his shots are very clean, you know.
Yeah.
Like the way you see him move, the way you see like he jumps like a million jump in the match.
He's a monkey. He's a monkey.
Because like him needs
He's
to
like Spider-Man.
He's more like on Shingoto, but he plays on the left.
Yeah.
So he needs to also cover the middle, you know,
Yeah.
especially that he's not playing with a lefty.
Yeah.
And I need to praise, of course, Yanguas. Yanguas is a very, very good player. He was a champion, you know, like in the juniors, like under 18, he was one of the best in Spain. He's working. He's a hard worker player. But I don't know, sometimes he has like different attitude on court, you know, like sometimes he's like a fighter, he's good, and sometimes I feel like, why are you Yanguas having this attitude? You're like kind of like confusing yourself or confusing the player playing next to you and the coach. Like you have like a really good smash, he's tall. He's one of the best players who can disguise the ball, like play a Chiquita or like all of a sudden play a fast lob and all that. He's very, very clever. He knows, like I can see the way the coach, I think Maxi Gabriel is the one who coaching them. One of also, he was a World Padel Tour player, one of the top 20. So I see like the way they talk together and they talk about tactics and all that, so he can implement it. So I think it's a very, very nice combination having two clever players. And Nieto, by the way, players feel like Nieto, he's short. No, he's not short. But the smash is not the best shot. But the smash behind the line is not the best shot. But
He's very effective when he goes for it.
But exactly, if he has a smash, and this is actually what I really like about Nieto, he's not going to go for a smash if he cannot kill it, if he cannot do it, you know. Yeah, of course, sometimes he goes for a smash and he's playing against Coello, who jumps like 4 meters high and he reaches for the ball. You cannot say that it was like it was
A bad decision.
a bad decision,
Yeah.
exactly, or it was Nieto's problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, this team is impressive. I think they just need have a good win, you know, like have a nice win that will give them confidence, and maybe like Yanguas need to understand that he has it all. Like he's a really good player. Like look at Yanguas Víboras and he's very smart. You can see the way he closes the angles. Like if he plays a Víbora or a bandeja to the corner, the way he moves to the middle and plays like a stop volley or plays a 4 meter, you can see it. Yanguas doing it a lot, and yeah. So I think this team deserves to be my winner of the week or biggest winner of the week.
Much deserved. Like the fact that fourth consecutive semifinal, they don't lose before the semifinal. And Harun always brings this point up. They're a team that beats who they're supposed to beat, and they lose who they're supposed to lose to. My only thing about these two guys is you will never have an easy win against them. If you beat them, you're gonna have to suffer.
Yeah.
And that's why they're growing on me. This team in the beginning of the season, when we made predictions about like pairs and whatever, and we're like, the Coello Nieto Mike Yanguas pairing does not make any sense.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
But I guess they're enjoying it. But they're losing. The thing is, to take the next step. So I would say they're tier 2, right? Because they're making the semifinals. The possibility of moving up to tier 1. Can they do it together? Is it possible to, or is this their peak?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ismail. I think that we always saw Coello and Nieto playing with the lefty, which was John Sands. And maybe that's why we felt that they won also the Masters. They reached the final.
Yes, they won it.
They won it, yeah. They won the Masters. And so I don't want to, like, if Yanguas is listening to the podcast, but I don't want to say it that way, but the gameplay of Coello and Nieto might need a lefty.
We saw it with Coello in the World Cup, huh? They were whooping everyone.
Yeah, it was
Aside
amazing.
from this is Coello. Aside from that, but like, oh my God, because I was live there. We just finished the World Cup. I was with the women's team, the Egyptian women's team, and then we had time to attend the final, you know, and the women's and the men's, and I remember everyone saying like, what is this guy doing playing Coello with Coello and Nieto? Who's doing that? Like, why is Coello didn't play with LeBron? And everyone was saying this point because actually in this World Cup, Stupa and Dineno were not playing their best, to be honest. Yeah. And they even had a final set with
the Deutsch brothers.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, no, man, it's like, I think Coello and Nieto did 2 unforced errors, like 3 unforced errors in the whole match.
Unbelievable.
And the other beast was like standing like this. I swear, I remember he was like standing like this. Whatever comes closer to this, he's gonna take like one long step, and boom, he's gonna kill the ball. So this match actually showed me the importance of Coello and Nieto and what Coello and Nieto was able to do. Okay, man, you want to dominate? I will give you 2 unforced errors only.
Yeah.
And it was like, and it was an unforced error because he's a pro player. Like for me, it's a forced error. You know? Actually, Coello is amazing.
Something about Coello, I think, and it was in my mind when you mentioned this point. I think I've seen him maybe make 2 bandeja unforced errors. I think one was in the semi-final, the other one was maybe last year or something.
Yeah, the one he plays it in the net, you know.
Yeah, like it was. And the fact is, it's not like he's hitting maybe like 100 bandejas a match because he doesn't go for the shots. He's no smashes. So the fact that he hits like 1 bandeja unforced error out of 100, the conversion rate is insane.
Yeah. I also love what you mentioned, Seif, because when they were against Coello Tapia in the second set, they were 5-2 down, double breakdown.
Yeah.
And then I felt like Cookie is the one that brought them back into the match. Like I felt like he's the one that had the focus. And maybe I'm starting now to relate this also to the World Cup. Yanguas and Paquito, you remember that match when they lost to Liebach and Elsberger? Yeah. Amazing from Liebach and Elsberger, but I felt in Yanguas, he was shy of that moment. And I wonder if there's a mental block right now for him to take.
Same court.
Same court. Like I feel like there is a mental block. Like last year, remember when they beat LeBron Galan? I felt like, okay, maybe this team, Yanguas and Garrido, are gonna maybe pass, but then they went back down and I don't think.
I mean, if we're going to keep on moving, talking about teams, it's going to take forever. But actually, I saw the match like against Liebach and Augsburger in the final for the World Cup. Paquito was actually putting a humongous pressure on Yanguas, and Yanguas was actually doing his best. And by the way,
Paquito choked that match.
Yeah,
it was a combo, huh? It was a combo. Yanguas was amazing until the final tiebreak.
But I want you to imagine the pressure he was in, and playing for your country is completely different from playing for yourself or for your profession, So what I saw actually, and also playing against an injured player is different.
It's tough.
It's very mental. Like, what are the people going to say if I'm going to lose against an injured player? And playing against an injured player who has amazing smash. So whenever I play a lob at him, he hits a very good smash. And Augsburger was playing next to Liebach that was playing the best paddle in his life at that match. So I want you to imagine all this pressure going towards Yanguas, and also I am playing next to Paquito, who was world number 1, the most talented players in the world in paddle, and all this history, and it's the tie. Like it's 1-1. So I think it was fair that he kind of like broke in the tiebreak, you know. But
I'm so harsh. I'm being so harsh on him, huh?
No,
But if you want to spin it the other way, the young kids rose up to the occasion. Ausberger and Libak, they're babies compared to these other guys, and they're in the. Is there any more pressure than being an Argentinian in the World Cup trying to defend?
Can I say an insight actually, that since I went to like a lot of World Cups and I sat with a lot of people, with the environment and with the players, I don't know why, but the Argentinians were always like, I don't know how to say it, more eager to play for their country. I feel that the Spanish, they think of themselves a little bit more than the flag or the country. Not all of them, but the Argentinians, from day one, they are chanting.
The team spirit's
the team
amazing.
spirit is amazing,
Yeah.
but in Spain, I feel a little bit I'm the star, I'm the follower, I'm the leader, I'm the captain. This is there. But in Argentina, no, like you guys, you are going for the third. We believe in you, and you have nothing to lose. You know, like they played with their heart more than anything else. You know, like, and we saw that. So
I think that's such a
pictures
good.
are right there. The pictures are there.
It's such a good point, because
maybe you can see me there, no?
That's why I remember you made this point just from watching. Remember?
Yeah. I was telling them, like, you see Tapia and Sanyo Gutierrez, and they're all on their feet. They're cheering. They're standing. They're cheering with the crowd. And you look at the Spanish bench. Galan's biting his nails, and like they're all like, reserved. It's not the same. It's not the same. The Argentinians were there for their team, and they were there for their country, whether they were on the court or on the bench. It was not the same.
True, I agree. Yeah.
I think there was more at stake there, because they're like, now they're going to continue to lose again to Argentina in the final, and they're not getting over that hump, and they always lose in the final match. So it's different more. Like, I feel like Argentina maybe, I think, had less to lose in this last World Cup, but that's something maybe we can get into later. But I wanna talk to you guys now about my biggest winner of the week, if you allow me.
Oh, shoot.
Yes, go ahead.
So I want my biggest winner of the week is Paquito and Bergamini. I've loved this team since the start. I told you guys this was a great pairing. I told you Paquito loves playing with these guys that just are ease him in and they just support him. Like they're just supportive players. Chingotto, Dineno, Bergamini, all of these types of players I feel like he thrived with. And Paquito, like, he doesn't like to be rushed. When he played with LeBron, although he was a former world #1 player with LeBron, and he had great success there, but I don't know, he never liked being rushed, and he likes being set up easy, and then he goes for the kill. And especially watching that semifinal with Galan. Also, I liked the demeanor with Paquito. I felt like he was working on the things that we talked about. His body language was better. Yeah. He was more patient. He was waiting for his chance. And he was also aggressive in terms of aggressive mentally. Like, he was going to the side of Bergamini to take some of the lobs, or like, it looks like, he's going to hit an overhead, but then he ends up hitting it like a bajada or like a passing shot or something like that, which was... I love the whole energy about Paquito in that match and this whole tournament. And they finally... are breaking through a first semi-final, very, very decent run, really. And they definitely exceeded your expectations. You guys weren't high on them. I was, yes! Finally, I'm having some good predictions from the start of the season. But yeah, these are my biggest winners of the week. They deserve a lot of credit, and they're awesome. And I think it's just more and more like semi-finals. I feel like they're definitely going to make a few semi-finals, but semi-final at the major... Great stuff. Already big success. What do you guys think?
What the biggest thing for me about this team and what I loved is that they persevered and they stuck with each other. We heard all this smoke. Oh, Dineno is going to leave him. Is he going to go back to Paquito? I haven't loved the body language, as we talked about, Haroon, and the body language of Paquito throughout it's sometimes really tough to deal with. But this team stuck together and they keep having better and better results. They lost in tough match in Riyadh to Teo and Libak, and then they came back and like a few tournaments they kept improving, quarterfinals, now semifinals. I think it's a great testament to the fact if you persevere and you stick to a project, eventually you're going to break through. We keep seeing so many breakups. Okay, things are not going our way, let's break up right away. So this was one of it's become an outlier of like teams that sometimes they don't have the success that they wanted to begin with. but they stuck with each other, and here they are. They have a semifinal. Am I going to continue seeing semifinals? No, because I think you forgot that Stupa and LeBron weren't in this tournament. This is a team. This is a team that I love to watch. I consider them the people's champions. Bergamini is loved by fans. Paquito is loved by fans. I love to watch them, and watching that old style of paddle is also fun in a way, where you get to watch them build, and then take the opportunity when they get it.
I mean, it's not so old. Galan is like that.
Yeah, I guess, but Galan is not Paquito. Galan is
Yeah,
Galan.
he's more aggressive.
No, but actually, like the way Paquito played the match of Garrido and Dineno,
That was amazing.
That was this match.
That
Like,
was
this,
amazing.
This is like why I understand maybe why Haroon picked them as the biggest winner, you know, like of the week, because like the way he was moving the court, you know, like you can see like he was dominating and controlling the court. They were like Muppets, you know, like you play there, you go here, you go there. I play short, I play rulo, I kick, I do. He was in control, and I think also Bergamini was helping him doing that with being very consistent and not doing a lot of unforced errors. And even if he did, as you said, he improved in his body language, and as Haroon said, going to Bergamini's side and talking to him and all that. So yeah, I think it's a nice team, but not that sure they will move to the semis a lot. Sorry, Paquito.
Well, last honorable mention. I know there are lots of biggest winners, but honorable mention in this segment is Salazar and Verseda. The fact that they made it all the way to the semifinals, taking down Ortega and Araujo, a perennial semifinal team in the 4th seed. So the fact that I guess veterans making some moves, and we haven't seen much change when it comes to the women's draw in the semifinals. So it was nice to see a new team make it. True. Not new team, obviously veterans and experienced players, but to see them back. And then they fought against Triay and Brea. We talked about making it all the way to final set. But that's just an honorable mention for them for having an amazing tournament. And let's see how they go moving forward.
Yeah, very nice. Well, I think that wraps up most of the Qatar major big talk. But guys,
we'll be back for some more.
We'll be back for more. But let's move on to other interesting news.
Yeah.
Seif, you obviously saw this. Alex Ruiz is leaving Chozas to play with Maxi Sanchez.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this new pairing?
I think Alex Ruiz has been facing a lot of problems, you know, like when he was playing with Momo, and then they didn't know who's going to play. Yani, I feel that Alex Ruiz is a bit left out, you know. He was in
He's
the
forgotten.
Top, yeah, he was in the top.
He was
5,
up there with Stupa, remember?
Yeah, he was in the top 6, and I remember they even came here and they played, and he played with Stupa. But I feel that Alex Ruiz now, he cannot find anyone that is suitable for him from the top 10, you know, from the big players. So, and I think the decision playing with Chozas, like he didn't have another option, you know. Yeah. Chozas also didn't find someone to play with, and Chozas needed to play on the left because I cannot see Chozas on the right, you know. Yeah. Chozas on the right, yeah, he is a very, very aggressive player. He is from the same, I think he's from the same generation of Augsburger and Bach. I even saw him in the World Cup. I saw him in the World Cup for the menores, for the juniors in Torreon in Mexico. And he was one of the best players, you know. Actually, yeah, he won his match in the World Cup, but actually it was the first time Paraguay wins the World Cup, and it was the first time either someone else other than Argentina or Spain to win. So maybe it was not the best for him, and he even lost the Open. He was playing with Nico Zurita, I think his name. And so I think, at his era, or Chozas is a very good player, but I think he's not like from the top 10 or the top 20. I think he will be facing he needs to either change his game, get a better coach, or to try to find a better game.
But does he have potential to make it? Like his potential, how high is it? Is he one of the top guys? Should we put him in the same category as Libak Ausberger? No. For me, no. From sitting, of course, from the chair saying this, of course, but like I'm talking from this. To be honest, this time I'm talking as a fan. Like I did not watch Chozas enough because he was there like a tournament or two, and I don't relate to him to his gameplay. Yeah, he's a heavy smasher, but maybe only if it's like hot or like you have a hot glass and he can hit like good smashes. Maybe sometimes his defensive game is not that bad, but
yeah, I think the combination between him and Alex Ruiz was not the best. So Alex Ruiz going to Maxi Sanchez, they're going for more experience, you know, like Alex Ruiz, yeah, it's not the same generation of Maxi. Maxi, I wouldn't call him a veteran. Yeah, maybe he is a veteran because he's like the same like Sanyo and all that. So maybe he just needs like a good ranking and maybe a solid wins, like they can reach like quarters. So it's not a bad move, but I feel like he doesn't have a lot of options, you know.
Yeah, there's not much there. It's not a team that excites you in any way. It's not a team that you feel like, oh, upset potential, like Harun likes to say. My thing is about Chozas, like sure, maybe he's not Augsburger, he's not Liebeck, but he's a guy who's capable of being in the top 15 teams, top 15 teams.
Exactly.
The question is, who's out there for him?
Yeah.
I don't know. And is there anyone out there for Chozas to go to? Who would be someone?
It depends
who
on where he
take
plays.
Chozas to the next level?
Which side is he playing? He plays both sides.
But he's a left side player, correct?
Yeah.
No, I think we saw him.
He plays both. With Augsburger, he was playing on the right.
Yeah, we saw him moving.
And with Liebeck, he played on the left. Like, he just moves around.
Yeah.
He's
Does
super
he have to
talented,
decide,
by the way.
I'm this or I'm that?
Dude's super talented. For him to be playing on
He
the
is,
left
he
and
is,
right,
but-
like it's nothing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like almost all of them can do that if they're not lefties. You know, like I feel that almost all of them train to play on the right and to the left, and it's amazing what they do. But I think maybe a guy like he is young, but maybe if he played with Edo Alonso, maybe can be like a good jump or a good potential. But Edo is doing amazing now, and he's a good player. Also.
I need Edu to leave Arroyo. I need him to leave Arroyo.
That's why I talked about Edo alone. You know, like Arroyo is
That's a perfect actually example.
Yeah,
to go Chozas and Ido is for me a better team. Than Arroyo.
Because I think Edo already played with a lot of experienced players, so he gained that. And Chozas did the same. So maybe now they come back together and mixing like Spanish and Argentinian is not that bad. It seems like a good formula.
Clearly,
you know?
clearly,
So-
clearly.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't like when they change too soon. I feel like that was a good project. I'm not really happy for Alex Ruiz to change so soon.
You were the only one who was on board with that.
Yeah, I thought that. I mean, it's better. I think Maxi Sanchez is a downgrade, but anyways, you guys made your points. Yusuf, we have some other big news, I guess, in the paddle world.
Yeah, well, I guess we got ourselves an interesting thing, which is similar to tennis. Like the Laver Cup, we have the FIP International Cup. We're going to have the Americas versus Europe. UK finally getting into the game. They're going to be hosting this event. Fun to see a big country like the UK getting into paddle. We know it's growing. We were talking with Christian about this, about paddle in the UK, and he kept saying how it's growing a lot. Big event. You guys excited about this type of event?
Yeah, I think it's a very nice event. I think we need to change the format. Just the Europe versus Americas thing I don't like. I'd rather
It's just going to be Argentina versus Spain.
Yeah, which is... I want to see a draft. Like, I want to see a draft. I want to see them pick players, kind of like the NBA All-Star draft. Like, give me that type of format.
It's a nice idea.
I think that'll be a nicer idea.
I like the fact that paddle is growing. You know? Like you just add this to like having a new event, a new idea, a new host, and all that means that the game is growing internationally. And this is what we need, you know, like all the paddle players at the end, this is what will lead to the dream, which is the Olympics, you know. Like the more you have a lot of countries playing, a lot of countries joining, and a lot of like we spoke about having Portuguese, Brazilian, and all that. Yeah, so as we were saying about the International Cup, the FIP International Cup, seeing a lot of players from different countries means that we will see a lot of countries moving and getting interesting and hosting a lot of tournaments, and we will have it like the dream to reach the Olympics. So I think it's very good for the sport, very good for paddle that it's growing, and as you can see, the FIP doing an amazing job with the having QSI also joining and all that. So yeah, it's an amazing.
Yeah, well said. And other interesting news, Yusuf. Who showed up at the premiere?
Also, I guess it's building on the same point of paddle growing, right? Yeah. We saw in Riyadh where Cristiano Ronaldo was there and he even streamed the final. And I guess more people being close to the sport. You have Mr. Beast was there in the major. biggest YouTuber in the history. Of
That's
mankind.
awesome. I can't wait till he drops something about.
Imagine if he dropped
paddle.
something about paddle, it would go crazy.
It's gonna explode.
Yeah.
Do
He's
you
gonna
think he's
explode.
going for it? Do you think he's gonna do?
I mean, why was he there? There must be something in the works, right?
I don't know. Was he? He was at the F1 races. Also, we saw George Russell was there. So it's nice. We know that they play paddle. All these F1 guys.
I
So
think
also
Mr.
being
Beast
close-
is too busy to just be walking around. Like for sure, there's a plan.
There's something going on.
Yeah,
huh?
there is something
it paddle
cooking.
though, or is it something else?
It is paddle. I hope.
It would be epic. That would be epic.
Yeah,
And
it'd be
also
awesome.
the fact. Last thing is, the final. It was a packed stadium, huh?
Yeah.
Everyone the seats were full. You can even see in the video. We'll try to drop a video here for you guys to see from the stands. It was absolutely packed. So the game is growing, huh?
Yeah, really
was-
nice.
I mean, in Qatar now, like there's like 80% of Qatari they play. Seriously, they play paddle. Like it's and they have a lot of courts there in comparison with Doha. Doha is not a huge city, but like they have a lot of courts and they have really really good facilities. So yeah, I think maybe that's why like 70% of the court was like Qatari watching them. And,
Yeah.
and
That's amazing.
And because I went there, like I was lucky enough to go to Doha like at least 20 times, like, and I went to Khalifa Stadium a lot, and it's an amazing facility. So the organization is amazing, like Mr. Tariq Zainal, he's like he's doing an amazing job. He's the I don't know how to call it, the president of the federation, of the Padel Federation, that is under the tennis federation, under Mr. Nasser Khlefi. But of course, it's what they're doing is amazing, and it helps the fans to go to the court and to watch finals like that, and it's an amazing what Qatar is doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The players have them to thank for the growth of paddle. And paddle wins at the end of the day. The sport wins.
Yeah. And also, one last interesting piece of news to mention, guys, which is as paddle fans, we rely a lot on data from Padel Intelligence, which is the only source of paddle data for the most part, telling us about what the matches, the percentage of smashes, successful smashes, and so forth. They just announced that they are no longer going to be covering the Premier Padel Tour.
I absolutely hate this.
Yeah.
Because as anyone who follows this podcast, we use them so much just to reference how a match went, and you can evaluate performances. Yeah. And the fact that this needs to be resolved, because without stats, and also because we cover tennis too and TSH tennis, stats are so important to do it.
So important.
Like, so it has to be accessible to fans, because that makes them more involved. I understand my favorite player. How did he perform? How did he do this match? How did his partner do? Was his partner the reason he lost, or was he the reason? Like, it's all, I know they're still gonna keep it accessible for the players and the coaches, but the fans, I think it's really, really important for this to be accessible to fans if they want to grow, and if we're a media outlet that wants to also grow the sport, we need to have access to stuff like this. And the fact that Padel Intelligence, I guess, can't, Premier Padel and Padel Intelligence need to find something.
Yeah.
Need to
really
get
We need a
sad.
solution for the
Really
data.
sad. Really
Really sad. Like,
Sad
for
news.
example, last tournament, we saw that Coello and Nieto was 26 for 29 on smashes in one of his matches. That showed you how much he was on fire. And when Coello Tapia lost to Ausberger and Cardona, Coello was 3 for 11 on smashes. So you saw how not aggressive and passive
1 for
he was.
3.
Sorry, 1 for 3.
1 for 3. Like, he
sorry.
wasn't even aggressive. So you get to understand and who started peaking and whose performance improved. Padel Intelligence does a great job, and they deserve credit. And I hope this gets resolved.
Yeah.
It's the same for me. Like sometimes when I watch a match, me as a coach, and I want to develop, so sometimes I say, by the way, but Coello and Nieto was playing really bad smashes, and then I see the statistics, I'm like, I'm saying nonsense,
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to either watch the match in a different angle or a different way, and like check the notes that I took during this match to learn. So of course, and as you said, it kind of translates the tactics or translates the match. Like there's a match that you watch, and the translation of it, the statistic language is this, and it is as impressive as what you watch.
Exactly.
So it is very, very important for the game, of course.
Very important.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, let's see how that turns out. Well, we talked about this in the beginning of the episode, and it was what was going on. Chingalan. The conversation is, how can this team eventually get over Coello and Tapia? Let's assume that can't happen, and I assume that won't happen. So I'm going to ask you guys the question. We know Alejandro Galan is capable of going toe to toe with these guys. He has the firepower. He has the game.
I think Harun disagrees.
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
And who do you guys think Alejandro Galan should call if he wants to challenge Coello and Tapia for world number 1?
Enough with the regresso
Harun,
talk.
fine. Then let me start with you, Harun. I'll start with you. I didn't know who to start with. I'm going to start with you because go ahead. Let me know.
I
If you're
really
gonna say
don't, I
Chingoto,
really
go
don't
ahead.
think anybody. I honestly don't think anybody. I think it just.
You don't want to say LeBron?
I genuinely think.
No, he hates the
First of all, like
I know.
it's either we just roll over and accept that Coello and Tapia are just the kings and they're the ones that are gonna win everything, or we just try to do it and improve ourselves. I really genuinely think they're the only team that beat them recently. They're the only, except Ausberger and
Carburger.
Ausberger and Cardona, fine, they beat them, but
Coello, Nieto, and John
but
Sainz.
they beat them 5 times in the last year. So they did it before. They know how to do it. They just have to do it again and just work and work and work and come again. It's just they did it. Who else do you want to bring? Who else do you want to bring? It's new generation now that needs to come on with fresh blood. Everybody else, they figured them out. Coello and Tapia figured them out. So it's like, I genuinely think that there's nobody to call.
That's not fun. Seif, how about you?
Well, at the end, it's a guess, But from what I watch or from what I can say that when someone how do we say it? It's an Arabic saying, but give the same poison to the other, because I think Cardona could be a very, very good idea because you should have a lefty against a lefty and the beast against a beast, And we saw Cardona and Augsburger fighting the battle volley to volley, and their match was it's either this side wins the volley to volley or the other, or you finish a smash or you recover a smash. That was the points, nothing else. So I feel that Galan having Cardona next to him will not. It won't happen this year, it will need maybe, for example, Galan and Cardona to get used to each other. They're Spanish and I'm sure they played together a lot. So I think Cardona is doing an amazing job with Augsburger. So I don't want to take credit from Chingoto, but I think having a lefty into the equation will help Galan for sure. A lefty who has big smash, a lefty who has good volleys, but what's missing in Cardona, I think the experience and him need to have a little bit of a mature paddle, a mature paddle or a maturity even in decision making or in tactics, because I think what's missing with Augsburger and Cardona is the decision making. They're doing an amazing job but sometimes in critical points, what are you doing, guys? Why are you hitting a smash now? The ball is moving a lot and it's very windy. There's no time to hit a smash in the frame and the ball goes outside the stadium. So if Galan needs my
He called you.
if he called me, I'll go him. Wait, I'll send you Cardona's number. You can call him now. He's ready for you. So Cardona is a good candidate. Yeah.
How about you, Seif?
That would be a fun matchup to see him with Cardona. That would be fun. I think the idea is that you need firepower against Coello Tapia. And so, I think Yanguas is the next in line. He's right there. He's probably ready to go. Yanguas, for me, is not aggressive enough as much as I'd like him to be. I don't know what's holding him back from being more aggressive. Of course, my dream is LeBron, but he's not going back to LeBron. So my next best option, I would say, would be Yanguas.
Yeah.
There are no options left, right? I'm with the Yanguas one. I love the Cardona one. Harun, you're gonna hate this.
Tell me.
If you want to mute me, go ahead.
Tell me.
It's the one, the only El Lobo. He has to go back to El Lobo.
Yes.
They need to.
El regreso.
I am prepared.
El regreso.
I am prepared to pay for the therapy sessions. Let's get into therapy. Let's do seven. Let's do intensive therapy sessions. Let's get through this because we need to find a solution. It's the only way. I repeat this every
with all
week.
due respect, man,
the
stop
only way.
living in the past. Stop living in the past. Move forward.
Stop thinking Chingalan is possible. That dream is over. They can go down as the best number twos ever. How about that?
The best.
That's not going.
And
Ga-
when
really, Galan
you've
really
been wrong
ruined my
about them.
life.
You've been wrong about Chingalan. You said they were. You said the regresso was gonna happen, and it didn't happen.
It's gonna happen.
And they
It's
won
gonna happen.
titles. And they
It's
won
gonna happen.
titles.
By the way, Stupa's injured. Who knows how that elbow's gonna feel when they go to Bruseleras? Or actually, you have no idea. But if Galan, they're gonna have to sit down. Someone's gonna have to sit them down. By the way, for the sake of paddle, we need LeBron and Galan, because having Coello and Tapia last year, by the way, when we're watching, they're winning everything underneath the sun. It's not fun.
Do you remember when was the last match LeBron and Galan played?
Yes, World Cup. But they have.
I'm just asking a question.
Yes,
I don't
but it's unique because there are nuances to these things. They are not fully recovered, which is why I said therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Let's talk this
You
through.
saw them, you know, the viral video that went, like them warming up together in
Yeah.
the match.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just because I would do the same if Smite was on the other side of it. Then I'd probably do the same thing. I'd probably do the same thing with you. Like, oh, here's the ball. I'm not happy with you. But if we come together and I say, hey, sorry, bro. Yeah, sorry too. Let's hug it out. Let's become world number one again.
I don't think everybody
it's
is
very-
sorry, bro type of energy. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. No, but I think that's the only way. I like the Yanguas one more than the Cardona because I feel like Yanguas is much mature. I think he's mature.
His paddle is for sure more mature.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I want, or I feel that needs to happen, is like you need a mirror. So you need a lefty. This is what I feel
Yeah.
like. You know, like Coello knows his best shot, right?
Yeah.
Coello, for example, if he plays a smash or he plays like a really fast vibora. But if you tell Coello, you on the other side, you're gonna have another Coello
Yeah.
who plays the same. Coello will be very out of
Yeah.
out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I mean, like he already understands what's a right-handed player can do.
Yeah.
He was not challenged enough by lefties to do that. And
Yeah.
when it happened with Sanz, it happened with
Yeah.
Cardona. So
Then how about Sans Galan
they were a good team by
when
the way.
they played
like,
with each other when LeBron was injured?
Yeah, they were a good team. But I feel like the DJ guy, or I don't know. I think sometimes Sanz
Too much.
San's energy next to Galan is different. I don't know. Maybe Jorge Martinez will try to control this, but yeah. But I think
Well, we'll see. Well, you guys in the comments, please let us know who would you call if you're Alejandro Galan. Well, moving on to our next segment, and this is a segment I love every single week. We get into it when we can, and that is overreaction or not. So I'm going to tell you guys something, and you guys let me know is an overreaction or not. First one, Smile, I'm going to come to you. Juan Teo, by leaving Libac and moving on to Dineno, actually won't level up, but he's going to go back to his bad form in 2024. Overreaction or not?
This is not an overreaction at all for me, Seif, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but like I perceive Teo as a player who is not really the absolute alpha, you know, like a Galan, like a LeBron, like a Tapia or a Coello. Like he needs someone to take more of a leadership role. He needs someone to carry the offensive load to really win titles. Like he cannot win tournaments on his own with Dineno next to him. Like there's not enough firepower. I don't think actually that this like he was playing really well, and that's because the back is letting him play well. People forget so much that Pad is team sport, Seif, and you're a coach, you know this better than me. But 100%. I don't think he's made a good move. It's a pure ranking move. Maybe it's more than a ranking move, but I don't like it. I don't think he's gonna play better with Dineno.
I agree with you. Like it was a very, very obvious move that it is a ranking move. You know, like no one can talk about this or challenge this. But actually, Teo is a special player. But I think it was for us, like the one who started watching Padel, like there was like Shingoto and Teo. You know, like they were the best combo, and they did a lot of upsets, and they won good matches, and like. I think the best was reaching also the final in
Roland Garros.
In Roland Garros, yeah, when they played against Galan and LeBron. But Teo now is like, I think he struggles mentally. I think that's his only problem. Like mentally, decision making, tactically, sometimes he's lost. You know, like I remember watching him in the first Qatar major, the one I played, and then I was watching it was the semi. Yeah, I think at a certain time before serving, he kept on playing the ball on the glass, and then the three players were looking at him like, "Are you going to serve?" And then the referee said time, the umpire said time, and then he looked at him and he told him, "Where is the clock?" So it was like a very weird moment. Like, what are you saying, man? Like, what kind of pressure is happening there, or what are you? So Theo has an amazing paddle, you know. We all saw, and he's sponsored by Bull Paddle, and they trust in him, you know. And talking about also players getting together, sometimes, as we talked before, maybe it's ranking, maybe the sponsor have an idea, because you have Dineno and Theo, they are sponsored by Bull Paddle. Maybe they want to combine them together. Not only the sponsors of the clothes and the racket, maybe the sponsor that you have on the t-shirt want both of them together, you know. So I feel that it's the best scenario for Theo, you know, like because who else is going to play with good ranking, and also a hungry player who is a consistent player, and a player that like 6 months ago was one of the best players in the world, you know. So I feel that Theo will not last a lot with Dineno, unless there is something in the back, you know, that we don't know about, you know. But as performance and as results, hopefully, I like those players. Actually, they're hardworking, but I don't think they will have big results, you know.
Haroon, overreaction or not?
No, this is an overreaction, my friend. By the way, I'm not like I don't like this pessimism here. I don't like it pessimism at all. Yes, he said himself it is a ranking move. Yes, and you guys also said that the Yanguas and Nieto was a ranking move and it's just temporary. They're not going to do anything, and then they performed amazingly. Yeah, like there are many different questions you ask here. Are you going to beat the world number ones? Or are you going to have good results? They're going to have good results. I'm not so high on Dineno, but I changed my mind on Theo. I feel like he really brought me in to support him. He's been playing really amazing. I think this is an overreaction. Theo's going to do some good stuff.
Haroon, define good results.
Good results is going to be maybe like consistent quarters, maybe push for a semi and maybe a P2, or try to do a P1, but quarters, like maybe try consistent quarters. I feel that's good results. For
All right.
Like, yeah, you're not gonna win the tournament because it's either gonna be Coello Tapia or whoever else, but some other crazy whether top 3 team. So it's like the for the humans, everybody else, the other fields. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, I know what song's going to be on repeat in Teo's playlist in a month or two time, and that's going to be Let Go. You only know you love them till you let them go, and that's going to be him dreaming of Libek, because Libek showed him a level that he had no idea even existed within him.
Yeah, it broke his heart.
And
that was his team. That was his team. That was your team.
So he ruined a great partnership, and I think I'm so aggravated by this man. And I think that 100% this is not an overreaction. Him and Dineno aren't going to do anything. Dineno's on the way down, my friends. Dineno, by the way, Bergamini outplayed him in that semifinal. Just saying. So Bergamini's moved up. It's for the short guys. You have Cingotto, Bergamini, and then you have Dineno. He's now tier 3. He was tier 1, huh? So this is definitely not an overreaction.
Dineno's going to learn who the real Theo is.
Well, next one. I have one more to go. Pablo Cardona, Seif, I'm coming to you. Pablo Cardona and Leo Ausberger are the best team to challenge for world number 1. Overreaction or not?
We saw it happening, you know, like, and I mentioned this in the beginning. I mentioned that their gameplay is very, very similar to the gameplay of Coello and Tapia. And as we talked before, they go and challenge them, and I'm not saying they're reckless, but they're like fearless in that part, you know, like if you have heavy smashes, I have heavy smashes. If you have good reactions and good volley to volley, we are the same. But the only difference is the maturity of the paddle, you know. Sometimes we say maturity of the paddle is in a lot of things. It's not technical. Yeah, sometimes maybe like a coach can adjust this, but it's more on the decision making, you know, decision making and how to deal with pressure, and when you have the chance, when someone gives you a gift, you emphasize on it, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel that this is what they are missing. Other than that, I think it's amazing. I think it's not an overreaction, but it's not. They are the best team. They are the best team to challenge them.
Yeah.
But to challenge them,
challenge
you know,
them
like,
for world number 1.
oh right, no,
Not challenge.
no. To challenge them, in general, you know,
Yeah.
like sometimes we can have like a match point and then we lose, you know, like they can get a match
It
point.
doesn't have to be short term, like long term. Just out of all the teams that we have, maybe a few years down the line, they're more mature.
I believe there's no like the longest term for Augsburger and Cardona. It's either Galan is going to ask for Cardona or
Who's gonna ask for
because-
Augsburger also?
and who's going
LeBron?
to or Libak, because now we don't know what Libak is doing also. So
Yes, please.
maybe Augsburger at a certain point will be left out, and because like if Galan calls Cardona will go. You know, he's not going to say to Augsburger, no, I believe in you. but if this happened, like I think Libak is there. You know, like and bringing them together, they were a fiery team, and maybe now we can have like a therapy sessions or whatever. It's okay, you know. But actually, when we were talking, like, I cannot see also Galan asking for Libak maybe, but I see it more Cardona going to Galan and maybe Libak with the Augsburger, maybe Shingo going to Augsburger. So I feel that there will be a lot of movement in that part.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I feel that's an overreaction. They won't go for a number 1. You know?
Once that Galan like that partnership breaks, it's gonna be insane.
Galan's doing everything to not break it though.
Yeah,
so
it's
We
a
just
chaos.
need Galan to just make that call.
he's not gonna do it. He's not
Make
gonna
that
do
call.
it. He's not doing it. He's
It's a
stuck. He's
chaos,
stuck in his ways.
And Smile, you've loved this team since day one. Augsburger, Cardona. Can they challenge for world number 1?
Of course they can. Of course they can. Seif, this is my favorite team. I love this team. I love this team. They can challenge. They can challenge. And as long as Galan doesn't call Cardona Seif, I think they will be the next team to challenge. Because I believe you need firepower to fight the firepower of Tapia and Coello.
We agreed about
I,
this.
my only hesitance will be, I think Augsburger is not afraid of the moment. I think he's as clutch as they come.
Confident,
I think he's very confident player. I think he's a complete player. He's excellent defensively and he's amazing offensively. I think I hesitate with just Cardona defensively. I feel like Cardona maybe defensively, I can't say he's as strong at the back as others. I also don't think he's as solid at the net. For example, defensively, you can't compare Coello because he's so good. Coach Nacho was talking about how solid Coello is defending from the net. But and I also think that Cardona, like you said, mentally he's still not yet. He's not the kind of player who's always there in the moment and always believing in himself maybe as much. I think Augsburger has believed in himself from the day one. He was born. He believes he's going to be amazing, and he is amazing. So that will be my only hesitance with them.
Well, Haroon, how about you?
Oh, come on, man. Overreaction. What's with these overreactions today? No, man, overreaction. There's Chingara, there's Stupid LeBron. The list is still stacked. And no, they're not there yet. I'm sorry, they're not. I don't think it's just firepower that you need to beat Kuwait. You have to beat everybody in superior, like intelligently. You have to have a higher IQ. You have to have the firepower, but also the strategy and stamina and mental capacity to win all of the matches all the time in big moments and even small moments. Just round of 32 matches. The Augsburger Cardona are insane. Just in the spotlights, it's so tough to beat them. But can they always be consistent and beat all of the teams? I'm not sure. Still don't know yet.
That's a good point.
They've showed that, though. They've shown that.
They've shown that they've been
They've
consistent.
never
all
lost
these-
anyone they're
improved.
not supposed to lose to.
They've improved
ever since
on
they played
that.
with each other.
They've
Look at that match against Coello and Tapia. It really came down to a few points.
Yeah.
Because it was so close. Even 5-4, it was like even 30-all. Like it just really came down to 2 points in this set, 2 points in this set. Yeah. And you can watch Coello and Tapia after that match. This is the team that gives them the most trouble. And like you said, Seif, because it's the same exact gameplay going up against them, and they're tasting their own medicine against these guys.
Exactly, that's what I wanted to say.
And I think Cardona has improved. You said Augsburger, he has that clutch mentality. He lives for these moments. I think Cardona's ready for these moments. He just needs someone to believe in him. He doesn't need someone like Paquito to do this.
Yeah. You can see the difference between Paquito and Augsburger. Like the guy jumped from here to there.
Completely.
You know, like, the
So
difference in his
he
gameplay
has
was
someone
amazing.
next to him who fully believes in him. And I think they're both on the same trajectory. They're young guys going up and they're growing together. And I think it's working perfectly. I am a big fan of the Libak Augsburger regreso. But I think long term, what long term? I would say maybe like if we go into the next year, could they be a team that's consistently going up against them? I don't think it's an overreaction from that standpoint. If we're talking short term, obviously it's not. But longer term, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
I would say just next year. I don't
if
mean
this
2
team
years.
sticks
Just take
together-
me to next year.
If
Take
they-
me to next year. They're there.
If they stick together, you could say they're one of the 3 best teams.
Yeah.
If on any like the consistency, because Riyadh, they're one of the 3 best teams. Miami, they lost to who did they lose to? You look at every tournament, they lost to the champion.
Yeah.
Anyways, so not an overreaction. I think this team's going to be amazing. You guys, do you agree with me or not? Please let me know.
All right, Seif, we want to make use of having you here in the studio, and we want to do some rapid-fire questions. I'll run a question by you, and give me your quick answer to it. All right?
Okay.
Who's the most underrated player on tour right now?
Libak.
Yes.
One young player you think will break into the top 10 soon?
Augsburger.
Nice.
Who has the best smash?
Tapia.
Who has the best bandeja?
Shingotto.
Who has the best vibora?
Libak.
Who has the best volleys?
I want to say Galan, but I saw the volleys of Libak, but Galan.
Galan. Who has the best lobs?
Dineno.
Who has the best chiquitas?
Ooh. Best Chiquitas is more Shingotto.
Chingotu. Who has the best disguised shots?
We say Yanguas.
Oh.
Who has the best defense from the back?
Shingotto and Bergamini actually are impressive. But
Okay.
like from the back, yeah, I would go for Shingotto also.
Defense from the front, from the net.
Coello.
Coello.
Yeah.
Who's the most mentally tough?
Ooh. I think Tapia.
Nice.
Who's the most tactically smart?
I like Yanguas.
Nice.
Tactically is very good.
Favorite match you've ever watched?
Ooh. That's a very tough. Can I say I don't have one or? But I think since we brought it up, like watching the final in the World Cup with those guys, with the young
Amazing.
guys, yeah, it was amazing and going for a final set. So I think the match in the final World Cup, the
Especially
final
live,
time.
huh? Especially live.
Live and what Libak did,
Amazing.
guys. So
It was amazing,
seeing the
man.
backhand volley and his viboras or something else, and his
Amazing.
defensive also is really good. Yeah,
Hardest skill for amateurs to master?
smash. There's no like. Don't try to smash like watching the amateurs smash.
All right, one thing you wish more paddle fans understood about the sport?
That it's a tactical game more than anything else. You know, like it's not about hitting every ball and and it's not about, because now we have I don't want to call them the fake fans, but you have the fans that watch only the highlights.
Yeah.
They don't watch the full match.
The TikToks.
Yeah, exactly. So they watch the highlights, they watched all the hot shots, and now like, okay, this is paddle. No, like this happens like once in a set, So we need the fans to watch the full match to understand the game more, not only the highlights. So this is also important.
That's a very good point. Well, that was awesome, Seif. Thank you for that. Well, guys, we're going to get into our predictions, but before we do that, we like to stay honest and let you know where we were right, where we were wrong. Let's start off first where we were wrong. Yusuf, me and you, we had
Always in this
Chingalan.
one, huh?
We had Chingalan. We were wrong on that.
Yes.
Haroon, you did have Coello and Tapia, so congrats on that.
And Seif.
Yes.
Moving.
Seif also had Coello Tapia.
Seif also had Coello Tapia. Good job, Seif, on that. For the women's side, Yusuf, you were wrong. You had Ari and Paula.
Yes.
So you
amazing.
lost
I'm
on
doing
that
amazing
one.
so far with my picks.
Me and Haroon and Seif, we had Brea
Yes.
and Delphi Brea. So
Well,
we
well
were
done.
right on that.
Let me add more to my mistakes now. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, we have a chance to correct that. So Haroon, take it away.
Okay. So we have Brussels, the P1 coming up. The
P2.
P2, sorry. The boycott is over. The list is stacked. Who do you guys got? Because I'm going to share with you mine after yours. Seif, who do you have for the men's side for this Brussels P2 Premier Padel Tournament?
Ooh, because actually I don't know the weather. What's going to be with the weather is going to be cold or hot, but I think it's going to be Coello and Tapia. Yeah, but I really want to say Galan, because if the weather is not that hot and they will be able to play their own game style and have longer rallies, maybe they have a long chance, or
Come
like
on,
a better chance.
Pick them.
I'm not gonna be using. So no, actually, I think what makes me say Coello and Tapia is what we saw in the Qatar major. The confidence that they got going into Brussels. Maybe they will not be as much as hungry for a P2. I don't know, but seeing them after this major, I'm afraid, But if there's a change in weather, maybe I will correct it. But khalas, I will say Coello and Tapia for now. And I will say also for the ladies.
Wait. Well, let's do the men's first.
Sorry.
Yusuf, who do you got?
Harun, Yusuf.
I I made the dumbest pick ever. I picked against them, But Tapia 100% back to normal. That hand is perfect. He's firing on all cylinders. He's blowing my mind. Coello and Tapia till kingdom come.
100%. I'm with you all the way on that. I'm not betting against Coello Tapia. I'm taking Tapia healthy back is the man.
Harun, are you going with us?
You're going with me. You're going with me. I'm not going with you.
By the way, this is dangerous news. Unanimous pick for Coello and Tapia. Dangerous news for Coello and Tapia.
I hate it so much, and I want to go with Stupid LeBron so bad, but I can't.
Come on. Stupid and LeBron are playing together. It's Ruiz and LeBron.
Yeah, I
Go
know.
with Ruiz LeBron.
I know. I wish that was the pick so I can make it.
You have Sanyo and Leal also.
Ooh, Sanyo Leal. That's a good pick, Harun. That's a good pick.
Go for it.
Disrespecting Sanyo and Javi Leal, but no. Coello Tapia and Coello Tapia for the win. I have to go there.
Yeah,
all right.
100%.
All right, for the women's side then. For the women's side, is it going to be any different for you guys? Seif, who are you taking for the women's?
I will go with the Gemma Try and Delphi Brea. No, guys, they were very, very impressive. I don't think Ariana Sanchez and Paula will have the time to recover from the loss. The tournament is like after what?
It's the next week.
So I don't think they'll have the time to recover, and they will need to travel from Doha to Europe and then move there. So I don't think they will recover, and again with the confidence team winning the major, I think Gemma Try and Delphi.
Okay, Ismail, who do you have?
I'm gonna copy Seif here. I'm going with Gemma Triay.
You guys are making me think of.
They're go four titles now, 20 consecutive wins. It's like if I pick against them, it would be almost insane. No, I'm going with Gemma Triay.
Yusuf, are you going also the same?
I love this team. I want to pick someone different just so maybe it can be like. Sorry, I can't though. I can't. There's no Sanchez and Jose Maria. I wanted to believe in them after Santiago. They let me down, and I think they're gonna let me down again. So I'm not picking them. Triay and Brea, I'm back on their train.
Nice. Harun, wrap it up.
I hate this unanimous pick. I hate this, but I'm gonna break.
You have to go. Sorry,
I'm
my man.
I'm going Ari and Paula Jose Maria. Ari Sanchez and Paula Jose Maria.
First to have unanimous.
No, whenever we have unanimous picks, they lose.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm going for Ari Sanchez and Paula Jose Maria. I'm going for
he went
revenge.
For it. Okay.
Nice. Revenge.
Nice.
And mostly
you're gonna be in my same position. Enjoy it. It's fun, right? Because you've
been there, done that.
it's not fun doing the same thing.
I'm from the future. It's the wrong move.
It's
awesome.
Like, okay, like when we're all right, really, is it that fun? No, it's not fun.
Yeah. True. Let's see. It's going to make it fun. Guys, that wraps up another episode of the Padel Pulse podcast powered by TSH Padel. We just had Coach Seif Abou Senna here in the studio with us. He dropped lots of insights. Let us know what you think about our picks, our takes, and follow so you can get all your paddle news here every week. And also check out our interviews with Coach Nacho Porto and Christian Medina Murphy.
Also, if you guys want to see a long interview with Seif, let us know in the comments because we're going to make it happen if you guys ask for it. See you guys.
Vamos, vamos, vamos!